grade, in biology class, we had the usual dissection of fetal pigs, and I took the remains of that home and kept the skeleton of it. And I just started branching out dogs, cats. I suppose it could have turned into a normal hobby like taxidermy. And all I know is that I wanted to see what the insides of these animals looked like. In ninth grade, in biology class, we had the usual dissection of fetal pigs, and I took the remains of that home and kept the remains of that home and I just started branching out dogs, cats. I suppose it could have turned into a normal hobby like taxidermy. And all I know is that I wanted to just see what the insides of these animals looked like. In ninth grade, in biology class, we had the usual dissection of fetal pigs, and I took the remains of that home and kept the skeleton of it. And I just started branching out dogs, cats. I suppose it could have turned into a normal hobby like taxidermy. And all I know is that I wanted to see what the insides of these animals looked like. In ninth grade, in biology class, we had the usual dissection of
read the blood trails, and see where the love fell. Another thug tale, money, guns, and drug sale. Locked in jail, on the run of got bail. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tell. Read the blood trails, and see where the love fell. Another thug tale, money, guns, and drug sales. Locked in jail, check it, yo. War stories, gory scenes of fallen glory. Through his murderous deeds, we can read of all these tales of thugs that are seen in a trail of blood. Follow the leads and you can see where the failure was. His actions speak of dissatisfaction. For it to cop out just to believe that he's bad then. A damaged mental that led to a detrimental type of lifestyle. Just right to be dead by the devil. To go to the next level, show his rage when the game tends to end. No bonus stage. And Satan noticed the coldest snake is on his case to make sure his soul is clean. Shows his face, but in the form of an angel, trying to make it clean from the soul of an Abel. And he knows what to say to evoke his hate, and he chose to wait until he was in a broken state.
The blood trail, see where the love fair. Another thug there, money, guns, and drug sales. Locked in jail, on the run of got there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trails, see where the love fair. Another thug there, money, guns, and drug sales. Locked in jail, on the run of got there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trail, see where the love fair. Another thug there, money, guns, and drug sales. Locked in jail, on the run of got there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trails, see where the love fair. Another thug there, money, guns, and drug sales. Locked in jail, on the run of got there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear.
Nature or nurture, yo, that's the question. Now what made him turn down that direction? At the intersection of right and wrong, and I'm guessing that's a place where he spent quite long. Now combine that with a mind that errs into violent urges, and then the lines might blur. Discerning between right and wrong then becomes harder than finding words that rhyme with orange. And often this is normally to blame, either that or an abnormality in the brain. But reality ain't changed, he's still a killer, and his crimes are displayed like a fur and vanilla. And and he isn't the winner. Like Joe Frazier, choked on his own smoke from explosive anger, and the hopeless blaze of self-destruction. For his soul was dazed by power and corruption. Goes on his own chase and search for these. Ultimately it results in some murder sprees. No hyperbole, no exaggeration. Man, this man was madder than the maddest man, so patient. Satan's agent, his devilish vessel. He directs him on a mission and he sent him to kill. And his temple was connected to a time bomb. Life events set it up and then his mind's gone. A life sentence is the final outcome. And now he's in a cell, reflecting like how come. But he called out to Christ with cries of help. Mad guilt inside had him killing himself. The sound of his cries then reaches the heavens. Sees the blood of Christ speaking redemption. Follows the trails to a place of repentance. Though he's still physically in jail, facing his sentence.
The blood trail, you see with the love hair. Another thug there, money, guns and drugs there. Locked in jail, on the run of God there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trail, let's see with the love there. Another thug there, money, guns and drugs there. Locked in jail, on the run of God there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trail, and see with the love there. Another thug there, money, guns and drug sales. Locked in jail, on the run of God there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trail, and see with the love there. Another thug there, money, guns and drug sales. Locked in jail, on the run of God there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trail, and see with the love there. Another thug there, money, guns and drug sales. Locked in jail, on the run of God there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trail, and see where the love failed. Another thug there, money, guns and drug sales. Locked in jail, on the run of God there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trail, and see where the love failed. Another thug there, money, guns and drug sales. Locked in jail, on the run of God there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trail, see where the love there. Another thug there, money, guns and drugs there. Locked in jail, on the run of God there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trail, see where the love there. Another thug there, money, guns and drugs there. Locked in jail, on the run of God there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Read the blood trail, and see where the love there. Another thug there, money, guns and drugs there. Locked in jail, on the run of God there. What the man doesn't say, the blood will tear. Reading the blood trail, we gotta be reading the blood trail. Reading the blood trail, we gotta be reading the blood trail. Reading the blood trail, we gotta be reading the blood trail. See where the love there, see where the love there. Reading the blood trail, gotta be reading the blood trail. Reading the blood trail, we gotta be reading the blood trail. Reading the blood trail, we gotta be reading the blood trail. See where the love there, see where the love there. See where the love there, see where the love there. If you read the blood trail, see where the love there, see where the love there. See where the love there, see where the love there. If you reading the blood trail now.
Crime scenes, colder than ice for the crimes that are seen. Crimes that are seen and crimes that are done. Crimes that define the life I've become. Locked inside a life on the run. $1 signs for the knife or the gun. I've witnessed crimes designed by sick minds. Now I'm just trying to survive like my name was Rick Grimes. Feeling dead inside, but yeah, I'm still walking. Blessed to be alive, and yeah, I'm still talking. The things that I saw would make your jaw drop. I instantly snitch on me calling the cop. While I call on the Lord for forgiveness and guidance away from the crimes that I've witnessed, and cry for my victims' lives I've attacked. Violent reactions, now I'm in a trap. If I could turn back time, I'm back from crime. I turn my eyes away, I might just say I'm blind, but then I find no crimes to be seen. Having honest grind for my mind is redeemed. Violent scenes I shun like the devil. Instead of carefree, I become really careful. Intelligence levels get nullified from a homicide you know wasn't right. Like colorblind kids, hollow minds through violence. Time to as well as riding. Follow the right guidance. Sorrow inside that grows enormous. The horrible crimes I know the causes, but the Lord saw all of his lawless deeds. Back when he ran with a gang of 40 thieves, all the slaughter scenes and violent beatdowns. The thoughts inside, I'm surprised if he sleeps now. Guilt and sin built like DNA, like killing me softly, record on replay, saying the same things over and over, like news reporters with a scope on Corona. No show, no go, I'm sick and I'm loco, but slicker than a pro when it comes to slitting throats, bro. Oh no, the flesh is getting the better, forever being tempted to test the texture, then getting the regrets immediately after, accompanied by threats and fear of disaster, facing the facts of my life failures, nowhere to hide from that divine surveillance. I close my eyes over a sea of crime scenes, cold as the nights from the crimes that I've seen, crimes that I've seen and crimes that I've done, crimes that define the life I've become, locked inside the life of the run, $1 signs by the knife or the gun. I close my eyes over a sea of crime scenes, cold as the nights from the crimes that I've seen, crimes that I've seen and crimes that I've done, crimes that define the life I've become, locked inside the life on the run, $1 signs by the knife or the gun, locked inside the life on the run, $1 signs by the knife or the gun. Sights are graphic, violent, psychopathic, blind rabbits looking for some kind of habit. I might have it, yes, the solution on a righteous path is retribution. To lose or win, flick through the pages, turn over more new leaves to mixtures for stages. Sick brains that drink pain just like whiskey, acid trip, got them kids acting quite dizzy. Like who the heck is he? Don't actually know him. He might be trying to bring me some kind of bad omen. The mad joker, when provoked I kill. Get a rope round your throat before you know it's real. Slow down, kill, switch up the high beams. No time for slide scenes, so his divine eye sees all these crimes invented in the mind, all deserving one death sentence at a time. Pretending that it's fine, your worst mistake. Disturbed faith worse than escaping earthquakes and tsunamis, chased by armies of zombies on deadly ground. Never sound the alarm properly, like an armed robbery. I'm a menace in prisons, then it's a menace with venomous intentions. To get interventions and serenity prayers, all about connections, like being friends with the mayor, who's friends with the judge, then does him a favor, and you run away with papers, same punishment later. Suspended sentence, offending behavior, nothing less than evidence of an horrendous nature. Horse neglect, the thoughts collected like data by the Lord our Savior, the Alpha and Omega, sees beyond the face and to the mind. Perfect justice, punishment fits the crime. In this case, I seek him above. I rip off my face and I bleed the blood. The one who was nailed and posted my bail, prevented my soul from roasting in hell. Only know too well the other crimes I did win. There's nothing from his holy eyes that is hidden. If I go missing, he knows where I am, or out committing sin. Within a stare I stand, anywhere this land, air or sea. His outstretched hands everywhere they be. The crimes are seen before I commit them. That's why I gotta be a born again Christian with innocent division. My soul troubled head, my mind was divided by the sword with a double edge. The stumble on the ledge, you're getting close to another test that I really gotta go through. Forever hopeful, never successful. No move to joke because it's getting kinda stressful. Unless I confess, there's no point in living without repentance and the joy of being forgiven. Paranoid visions, driven to despair. Voices in my head, I'm not admitting that it's there. I close my eyes over a sea of crime scenes, cold as the nights from the crimes that I've seen, crimes that I've seen and crimes that I've done, crimes that define the life I've become, locked inside the life on the run, $1 signs by the knife on the gun.
Evidence as they enter my residence. Search out the premises. Will you tell me where the weapon is? You know they got the evidence as they enter my residence. Please tell me where the president is.
Like that, off the radars like secret agents. So watch me later through their sneaky surveillance. Didn't leave traces, at least I believed. And similar to Satan, my mind was deceived, thinking that I could beat the justice system, and thinking they wouldn't get enough for a conviction. Some of the dumbest decisions that I made in my life were measures taken trying to escape from a crime. Like it ain't the way that I'm getting mad for this, convinced then that I was hidden from the little cameras. So how can I have left any DNA? Only amateur practices would make these mistakes. As for me, I'm thinking I'm above the law, but in hindsight I wasn't really thinking enough at all. Coveting more of nothing that I needed. Didn't see the disease of greed, but still loving to feed it until it exceeded my thinking space, and my self-image needed to find a bigger place. Afraid to swim, it's not like being afraid of sinking. Just like thinking you're great ain't the same as great thinking. Faith and reason, I'll be lacking them both. Why do we keep daydreaming and just having to boast? Hands wrapped around the throat of a Pharisee. Out of a self-righteousness thought he might just embarrass me.
Got evidence as they get you in my residence. You better just tell them where the weapon is. The next thing is they be getting forensic kits on the relentless tip. They be searching on my premises. I wasn't expecting this, cause in the present tense left the past behind, but also left my fingerprints. I guess I better give a confession with an apology, cause I just wanna be where attention is evidence. As they get you in my residence, you better just tell them where the weapon is. The next thing is they be getting forensic kits on the relentless tip. They be searching on my premises. I wasn't expecting this, cause in the present tense left the past behind, but also left my fingerprints. I guess I better give a confession with an apology, cause I just wanna be where attention is evidence. As they get you in my residence, you better just tell them where the weapon is. The next thing is they be getting forensic kits on the relentless tip. They be searching on the premises. I wasn't expecting this, cause in the present tense left the past behind, but also left my fingerprints. I guess I better give a confession with an apology, cause I just wanna be where
Getting so angry I happily attacked the guy. Arrogant types that might have actually had to die. Actions from pride, strong consequences, but I humble ourselves before God knocks the centuries. What a mess this is, so astounding, and a negative sense of evidence that was overwhelming. A known felon with many aliases, and every name he just gives may have left a trace to his real name. I feeling the shame and guilt on the association of mates who are all of the same ilk, mainly killers and attempted murderers. Feelings of worthlessness and exceptional nervousness, consensual birds of proverbial feathers, prefer to be together with the murderous agendas. Endless skirmishes and offensive wars, but now I'm like that headless person standing next to his whore, ready to haunt in a staunch position, but wasn't assertive and wouldn't force him to listen. Still this is sin, and I have to address this, harboring more resentment than a passive aggressive. Just wanted somebody to try to come up and test this, pressing one of my buttons and then you can run to your death quick. Aggression displayed in the end is just tasteless manifestations that left evidence and traces. As they crept in the place presenting the papers, the next my face gets left for some extra graces. Arrested and taken to the next station, then I'm facing desperate attempts at them trying to get a statement. I ain't saying Nathan, you know how the game goes. Whatever the case, the mouth must remain closed. There's a cop in plain clothes and this down next to me, attempting to be my friend as he shouts out at our enemy. Trying to connect with me, but doing wrong, showing contempt for the other cops like that was a mutual bond. That stupid cop pretending to be living foul with his dirty appearance but having the cleanest fingernails. He may as well have had a sign saying, trying to guess the kind of character that I'm playing. If they'd be faking the funk, trying to play me like a punk, but I ain't afraid, they can say what they want and they won't stop, they could go forever. Well, all I'm saying is no comment and I don't remember, or yo, whatever, this isn't finished yet, but things could have been better if I was just given a cigarette and a phone call, just like I was promised. But cops' promises are like prophecies by the Nostradamus. Nothing but lies, our eyes locked on the prize, innocent or guilty, but they confess them homicide.
Got the evidence as they enter in my residence. You better just tell them where the weapon is. The next thing is they be getting forensic kits on the relentless tip. They be searching on the premises. I wasn't expecting this, cause in the present tense left the past behind, but also left the fingerprints. I guess I better give a confession with an apology, cause I just wanna be where redemption is the evidence. As they enter in my residence, you better just tell them where the weapon is. The next thing is they be getting forensic kits on the relentless tip. They be searching on the premises. I wasn't expecting this, cause in the the present tense, left the past behind, but also left the fingerprints. I guess I better give a confession with an apology, cause I just wanna be where redemption is. Evidence, you know the cops got the evidence, as they enter my residence. Please tell me where the weapon is. Yeah, you know they got evidence. Man, the cops got the evidence, as they enter my residence. And they show me the evidence, so there it is, the evidence, yeah.
Yeah, well I'm that low life with no wife and kids in there. My train of thought is dividing on a different track. Pick it up, gotta increase the speed, supply and demand. I gotta meet the need, increase dependence and greedy endeavors. Gotta get the medicine and then you flee from the presence of darkness, far away from all of the heartless, violent war starters and narcissistic bastards. Facades will crack, pleading for your life. Put away the hard act as you reason with a knife. Oh gone, yeah. You might have done what they said if you believe disobedience to be synonymous with death. Nevertheless, your yesterday is way closer. Explosive flesh, letting aggression take over. And it just shows how weak really my soul is. Like an unknown disease and I can't seem to control it. Be on parole for like a couple of months. I shouldn't even risk smoking like a couple of blunts. Let alone murder, to be breaking the law. Especially if it be the premeditated sort. To know the hate I stored. It came to reach a climax, a disease is spreading, and it means that I might snap. Then where's your life at? Although CD makes you with anyone who has a life, I need to be taking it. Shifting paradigms and different patterns of crime, unpredictable symptoms within this angry mind. The last samurai, the mad decapitator, the Terminator, on the case to catch you later.
Cops on my case, jail waiting for me. If you get locked away, I'll go in a blaze of glory. But surely I can change, only for God's grace. Not a fat-faced lawyer who got the wrong case, but on my case, I make it in this session. The divine mediator, just waiting to step in, gives redemption. It's only God that can save us. Gets paid on the cross, so God could drop cases. Cops on my case, jail waiting for me. Either get locked away, or go in a blaze of glory. But surely I can change, only for God's grace. Not a fat-faced lawyer who got the wrong case, but on my case, I make it in this session. The divine mediator, just waiting to step in, gives redemption. It's only God that can save us. Gets paid on the cross.
I pray to Christ alone, like most nights or so, hoping these murderous desires would find me go. But yes, I know that the cops are coming after me. If you see me in the cuffs, that they're not just harassing me, but have actually caught the right man. My only hope is in the one at the Lord's right hand, as he makes an intercession for any repentant sinners like me who begin to agree with this sentence and be accepting that there is no excuse in life. Instead of Christ, I should have been the one crucified. I never do right, but the sun shines in my face. Just crimes and mistakes, but the sun died in my place, and it's on my case. Just like a great lawyer with his evil state, ain't got nothing but hate for you. And you can be sure that they will always think this way. They're always on my case, but in a really different way, with different aims, or should I say agendas, that will never accommodate the changing of offenders, but instead bringing dread, just like a zombie chase. Every step that I tread, the cops are always on my case. Zombie days that got me afraid in a lot of ways. I'm balanced weight on a lot of dishonest snakes who have got to pay, just like bribes to judges. I got 5 on the case, so just say the right numbers. Trying to lighten the sentence and soften the blow. Checks are signed, and next some guys got his parole. So what you find, you see, when it comes to bribery, there's little partiality, but a wide variety. Every life is a fee. Yo, this I must admit it. There ain't no justice, but there's just a justice system that doesn't forgive, and it never forgets then. So I must come to the sun and accept this redemption.
Cops on my case, in jail waiting for me. If you get locked away, or go with a blaze of glory. But surely I can change, only for God's grace. Not a fat-faced lawyer who got the wrong case, on my case. And I'm making an intercession to the divine mediator, just waiting to step in his redemption. It's only God that can save us. It's paid on the cross, so God can drop cases. cases. Cops on my case, in jail waiting for me. If you get locked away, we're going to blaze of glory. Surely I can change, only for God's grace. Not a fat-faced lawyer who got the wrong case on my case. And make it a decision, the divine mediator, just waiting and sniffing his redemption. There's only God that can save us. It's paid on the cross, so God could drop cases. Cops on my case.
Part of me was, and part of me explain. I don't know. It's like I don't believe I have a split personality, but you know the feeling where you're sort of glad about something, but on the other hand you're not. That's how it was. It was a relief not to have to keep such a gigantic secret that I'd kept for so many years. And once I saw that I had no choice but to face it, I decided to face it head on and make a full confession. So I am glad that the secrets are gone.
Were you relieved to be arrested?
Were you? Part of me was, and part of me wasn't.
Explain.
I don't know. It's like I don't believe I have a split personality, but you know the feeling where you're sort of glad about something, but on the other hand you're not. That's how it was. It was a relief not to have to keep such a gigantic secret that I had kept for so many years. And once I saw that I had no choice but to face it, I decided to face it head on and make a full confession. So I am glad that the secrets are gone.
the media, they keep making me weaker. Daydreaming between a state of awake and asleep. I perceive like the roots. I'm trying to find the truth. Will find myself for one of the crimes of my youth. No future in that, whack like evolution. The Mackle type, I grab the mic and start shooting. The executioner on the G-rap tip. Old school cat, back with Johnson was still magic. And Illmatic was too young for a classic. And the back was cast ass under the mattress. Now it's a gun in the mask, no one suspect me. Corona cautious, of course they respect me when I belly up. So don't tell me I'm a thug, like I had Machiavelli that was tied on my gut. Come with the uppercut and some knuckle dusters. Teach you that will sneak through before you can knuckle up quick. The double Dutch, mad interpreter. The angry maniac smirking like an axe murderer. Memory madman, enough of that talk. Yeah, I'm just a sad man that really wants to get caught.
See, here I am, I'm holding my hands up. Nowhere to run, you know that I am stuck. And I've been having bad luck like all of my life. And what? Don't just let me get caught this time. All sorts of crimes I got stored in my mind. And violent thoughts I got forming inside. As I cry to the Lord and just roar at the sky. I'm trying to get caught, but we're all gonna die. So here I am, I'm holding my hands up. Nowhere to run, you know that I am stuck. And I've been having bad luck like all of my life. And what? Don't just let me get caught this time. All sorts of crimes I got stored in my mind. And violent thoughts I got forming inside. As I cry to the Lord and just roar at the sky. I'm trying to get caught, but we're all gonna die.
Between two earths, it's the curse of the criminal. For the physical, seldom submits to the spiritual. And as a result, I'm just a foul individual. Killing your traditions and your proud little rituals. Indifference to the symptoms of victim's mind. My life is profane with an explicit lyric sign. But I still wanna change, it's a daily struggle. Killing self-fulfilling prophecies before they may come true. Stumbling over words, running my mouth. Throwing violence inside because of the blood on the couch. Feel like crumbling now, I've been falling apart. I gotta humble myself from this war in the heart. Wanted to get caught for every last crime. Ruminating in the dark, that's my favorite pastime. Define your class and your social status. People trying to get in first because they know what last is. Yo, it's my task to try to start a war. The Babylonian barbarian, the Canaanite carnivore, the flesh eater, complete with tins and reefer. Keep up with the meaner that be grimmer than the reaper. Yo, the ill funk freak, yo, that be touching funk fakers. Dwelling underground, among the underrated. The fragrance of fiction, that's an odorless mixer. I'm the illest killer, style dark like a tincture. Lives get taken with a pinch of soap. Being with an inch of your life and a glimpse of a post. I'm up in the poster, yeah, you can bet that I was. I'm the one that said wanted, dead or alive on. Cause my mind's gone and my heart's disappeared quick. Nobody's allowed to be with these departed spirits. But this wasn't the case, I guess you might say. That my mind just decided to go MIA. But then I pray that I might never stray. And that applies at one time that I was heading the right way. Cause it's never a bright day within my gray matter. I can tell by a nice way that you never see some brain splatter. In this day and age of pain concealing, kids playing video games, so stop raping and killing. But don't blame me, I'm just stating the facts. Blame other people has constantly been entertained by that. The stages of guilt that are direct in depression. I mean it's darker than the hit, my confession is kissed.
See, here I am, I'm holding my hands up. Nowhere to run, you know that I am stuck. And I've been having bad luck like all of my life. And what? Yeah, so just let me get caught this time. All sorts of crimes I got stored in my mind. And violent thoughts I got forming inside. As I cry to the Lord and I roar at the sky. I'm trying to get caught, but we're all gonna die. Yeah, see, here I am, I'm holding my hands up. Nowhere to run, you know that I am stuck. And I've been having bad luck like all of my life. And what? Yeah, so just let me get caught this time. All sorts of crimes I got stored in my mind. And violent thoughts I got forming inside. As I cry to the Lord and I roar at the sky. I'm trying to get caught, but we're all gonna die. Yeah, see, here I am, I'm holding my hands up. See, here I am, I'm holding my hands up.
Violent thoughts I got forming inside. Cry to the Lord and roar at the sky. Trying to get caught, but we're all gonna die. Trying to get caught, but we're all gonna die. Cry to the Lord and roar at the sky. Please would you get rid of these thoughts in my mind? I cry to the Lord and roar at the sky. Please would you get rid of these thoughts in my mind? Trying to get caught, we're all gonna die. Trying to get caught, we're all gonna die. All sorts thoughts are crazy thoughts in my mind. Please Lord, I roar at the sky. I cry to the Lord and I roar at the sky. Please would you get rid of the thoughts in my mind. I cry to the Lord and I roar at the sky. Please would you get rid of the thoughts in my mind. Trying to get caught for we're all gonna die. Trying to get caught for we're all gonna die. Well, I cry to the Lord and roar at the sky. Please would you get rid of the thoughts in my mind. And please would you get rid of the thoughts in my mind.
As the light goes dimmer, this show will stop. He's a psycho killer and a corona mask. A hopeless past that predicts his future. He's feeling so lost with his little six shooter. Winner or loser, but enough is enough. He believes that he's neither, none of the above. Like such and such who doesn't exist, living in his own planet where he's governing this. And if the glove doesn't fit, he better just stretch it. Becoming a man that God never intended him to be. But sin sees the opportunity within his heart. You can see that he's a lunacy, in too deep with these hellish ways, leaving trails of blood that lead to shallow graves. With his heart racing, just like Formula One, as he's running away. Lord, what have I done? Wondering how we become such an evil man, feeling so fallen that people just can't stand to be around him or even seem to help him. He's always on edge, and his heart keeps pounding. You can feel his heart pounding. The guilty plea, but no one comes. The heart keeps beating like ferocious drums. Seems as what teams will be holding guns. Now what it seems is what it becomes. Life on the run till these doctors around him. It ain't no fun when you can hear your heart pounding. Rampage, man's rage making him pay. Afraid in the dark, heart racing away. Rampage is a man's rage making him pay. Afraid in the dark, heart racing away. Dirty deeds and clean getaways. Yet every day a death sentence is faced. There's no escaping all the scars on the brain. The manifestations of a mark of Cain. Every train tainted with guilt it seems. His victim's nightmares have killed all his dreams. Guillotine sliced like off with the head. His body is alive while his conscience is dead. Like a zombie, cravings of the flesh. Walk around growling in a state of death. Dangerous, yeah they used to label him a leader he allowed to somehow stay with him. Play with sin like a favorite toy instead of a play with him that was made to avoid. Unemployed, plus a heavy drinker. Don't mention the fact that he's a deadly thinker. And in a blink, thoughts become actions. Flesh screaming out for more satisfaction. Morbid attractions may be fatal. Primitive emotions, hating Abel like Cain did. Became blinded by hatred. Thinking why can't I live the same life that they live? Mind play tricks like a thought magician. As more victims are sent to the one position. Visions of dread, the brain damaged time. Sick in the head, the straight jacket tight. When a mind is bad, receive healing. Arising at murder from an angry feeling. The guilty flee, the no one comes. The heart keeps beating like ferocious drums. Seems as what teams will be holding guns. Now what it seems is what it becomes. Life on the run, these doctors around them. Ain't no fun when you can hear your heart pounding. Rampage, man's rage making them pay. Afraid in the dark, heart racing away. Rampage is a man's rage making them pay. Afraid in the dark, heart racing away. not your typical middle class kid. I'm living drastic, mad drinking habits, and tripping on acid, swimming with the rats, a sewer of manure, sipping on the car newer like you were the cure, refusing to lose whatever be the cost, but never did I see to already be lost. Across my face, the blinds is written, living a life that's defined by violent decisions, sick in the mind with mental problems, committing mad crimes that were never really solving, told on by rats, stabbed in the back, manic episodes of mad panic attacks. After that had emerged a man that's disturbed, sick and perverted like the Catholic Church, mad and murderous, you're on the surface freak, having the worst kind of dreams like murderous sleep, feeding on anger at boiling points, avoiding man, I'm paranoid from the joints, my place was bent the right way I left, then I was led like a slave to the grave instead, I'm on the walking dead, there ain't no talking heads, they just fall in flesh, you are all possessed, with a blood loss, you better run when the gun busts, cause some of us having fun turning others to dust, busting spontaneously, cause jail be waiting for me, but so are the craniums, I'm aiming on breaking, you see, contagion for me, it's not the same as them, like my brain was wired to taste pain and sin, when I let hatred in, yeah I hate to remember, changing my behavior with a raging temper, from breaking and enter, to home invasion, to craving a moment for someone's done to craving, I don't know this way leads to more destruction, inside my mind the seeds of all corruption, I wasn't born normal, to say the least, can't look in the mirror, cause I'm afraid of the beast, inside my mind there's a bomb design, visions of prisons and asylums in line, that silent types you need to watch for, might be the cause to scheme and plot more, lost all inhibitions, I'm moral restraints, a product of the system, living like I'm crazy, but God save me, like you did the queen, help me to awake from the sinful dream, inside my mind there's a bomb design, visions of prisons and asylums in line, the silent types you need to watch for, might be the cause to scheme and plot more, lost all inhibitions, I'm moral restraints, a product of the system, living like I'm crazy, but God save me, like you did the queen, help me to awake from the sinful dream. My mind's a swamp of things that I've forgotten, the hate inside be taking lives like flies rotten, rock bottom times and plotting homicides, suppressing the conscience, it tells me what is right, like my morals are died, if I ever had any, but who am I to decide if another man's ready to stand before the Lord in judgment, the day they find a waste to blind all for nothing, in a world full of suffering, death and disease, that was loving what we want, instead of what we need, so I feed and consume on that evil of doom, murderous thoughts towards the people in the room, the media fooled me, I mislead these odds, still agree with Chuck D and didn't believe the hype, kind of deceived, though my head never trusts, inside it's the vibe, being led by my lust, aimed in the dust and begun in the dust, sinners an infection like a fungus on us, but there is no us, yeah, there's only me, safety in numbers, you're hating alone, you see, I don't agree, cause alone is what you gotta be, that's if you really gotta see, yourself in all honesty, I'm far from me, I mean free from hypocrisy, living my life, and so only God was watching, and I wonder what he sees, with me specifically, horrific things are done, convicted me considerably, I'm thinking biblically, it's very necessary, for the concept of hell, it's not unnecessary scary, the cemetery is just a starting point, with this in view, living is for hard to enjoy, for the minds we employ, to get through life, will hardly be something that God is fooled by, need my mind renewed, and my thinking quick, don't wanna die with that crew in a sinking ship, but my sick ears, they don't wanna hear better, kinda like a young stuff, he's succumbing to peer pressure, except when I do, I'm unsettled within, as I feel his spirit, striving against my sin, repentance is a gift, as if one has it, I was so dumb, had I yet begun to unwrap it, because of that magnet, inside the mind, practically attracted to any vice I can find, but the kind of vice, to please the appetite, with me grabbing a knife, on a Saturday night, now this can't be alright, I know in my heart, back in the day I was a cast away from Noah's Ark, but please don't stop, or get me believing, that I'm infected demon through genetic breeding, yes indeed, I'm seeing as violent, when it's the devil be deceiving my weak little minded, but why would I speak of my mind is weak, when I ain't scared to kill, and it's violence I seek, the weakness shows as the ego grows, saying yes to the flesh, only feast don't fall, the enemies within, and the energy is sin, that never be believing in anything that can win, as I begin to place a losing bet, but I consider it as pay my dues instead, inside my mind is a violent design, visions of prisons and asylums in line, the silent type types you need to watch for. Might be the cause to scheme and plot more. Lost all inhibitions, I'm all restraints. See, a product of the system, living like I'm crazy. But God saved me like He did the Queen. Help me to awake from the sinful dream. Inside my mind is a harlot design. Visions of prisons and asylums in line. The silent types you need to watch for. Might be the cause to scheme and plot more. Lost all inhibitions, I'm all restraints. A product of the system, living like I'm crazy. But God saved me. Yeah, Lord help me, a man out of control. It's like my body ain't attached to my soul. The spirit is willing but the flesh is weak. But it's easier to kill him than to let him breathe. Set me free from these murderous desires. My mind is disturbed from this curse or this virus. My purpose in life is reduced to zero. Ain't no time soon to be a superhero. A solo is a weirdo, the silent type. Like a human freak with a violent mind. Always trying to find a way out of this. It's like I can't help it. I was addicted to the power trips. I ain't proud of these crimes that I've done. Should've turned myself in or lived my life on the run. Inside I'm just numb, emotionally detached. Hopefully I'm beating this and it won't be a relapse. I'm a madman, living in the bad man. On my own 2 feet, yeah, I'm having this pain. But I understand that the silent man can change me. I can change the sun the same. I'm a madman, living in the bad man. On my own 2 feet, yeah, I'm having this pain. But I understand that the silent man can change me. I can change the sun the same. Now is there forgiveness for a man like me? And this is a sickness. Do I have a disease? Sick mentally, like demons went to mentally. Scheming in my temple and they never seem to let me be. A legion of devils affecting my brain. As my need for pleasure gets connected with pain. A deranged intellect that's intercepted by the devil's lie. Over disrespectful life, hiding from a sentence that cause desire. Feeling burnt out, scorched by the fire. I know that I need to repent for crimes. As these morbid thoughts left me desensitized. Unable to empathize with all them who died. But remember the eyes looking terrified. And I was scared to die, but not to kill. What they called victims, I was calling obstacles. And objects who didn't really feel, didn't want the truth. Like is it really real? Appealing to things, appeasing this madness. The fact is there isn't any redeeming factors. I'm a madman, living in the bad man. On my own 2 feet, yeah, I'm having this pain. But I understand that the silent man can change me, like he changed the sun the same. I'm a madman, living in the bad man. On my own 2 feet, yeah, I'm having this pain. But I understand that the silent man can change me, like he changed the sun the same. Characteristics, mad and sadistic, a sick fantasist who's acting out his script. Practice make perfect, words that seem true. Practicing the sentence that he's perfectly evil. Murdering people, that's hardly new. Starts with an angry heart that we regard as awful. And all these fools who really love to hate, but they don't want to take the step to get the duct tape. But what if they knew they could get away with it? Like killing in the name of entertainment. It's cold world we're living in, and hard to sit still. Millions of civilians who are hardly civil. Reptilian kids growing up emotionless. And temptation is a concept that most just won't resist. Ain't about broken homes or poverty fights. He was just one of those types who he honestly likes not to survive or out of necessity. And his parents kept thinking, like, how could this ever be? But they could never see, like, just family member as anything more than just a man with a temper. But his angry agenda, it keeps inflating. And the moves he made exceeded expectation. Now it needs to be made into a new creation. What I'm saying? Yeah. Cause I'm a madman, living in the bad land. On my own 2 feet, yeah, I'm having the same. But I understand that the silent man can change me, like he changed the sun the same. I'm a madman, living in the bad land. On my own 2 feet, yeah, I'm having the same. But I understand that the silent man can change me, like he changed the sun the same. I'm a madman, living in the bad land. Living in the bad land. I'm the best of both worlds juggler. Living life like a hustler. The type to go to church with some drugs and a gun in ya. But if that bothers ya, that means it's still hard. Don't have to be like that rich guy who always feels broke, not knowing who you are. Then you better revisit. Come to the crossroads, see Elohim's image, and what you witness are designed by the wise mind. Y'all can make religious type of guys eyes wide. The minds have been blinded by the devil's bias. Couldn't get a glimpse of creation even if they had no eyelids. The land of pole violence to not yet mindless, where the past is forgotten, though not yet behind it. And doing life is many a killer's fear. Insanity pleas that be falling on deaf ears. Sentenced to years of self-condemnation. Heavenly souls under hell's domination. While crouching Satan is just waiting to pounce. Beating a man down, taking his faith and he's out. Replacing it with doubts on the disorder tip. Until you're like a fish, not even believing that the water exists. And if that's all there is, then I quit. Kinda like a morbid kid who keeps putting life a bit. Like he hates her, but still he wants to date her. After he slapped her in the face, thinking she was a traitor. Now see the danger, but then I see the signs later. The taste of bitterness, yo, that's my life flavor. Society is a hater to the likes of me, keeping her eyes on me, just in case I react violently to the many labels given. Yo, that's to describe me, like he's mentally unstable, and still he's very likely to reoffend, depending on the circumstances. Calling me the killer, but they're the ones that murdered my chances. My task is no way the easiest. I'm trying to creep past where I think the gatekeeper is. Seeing images, I'm beating it with my fist, like all these Judases who just greet you with a kiss. I don't know one's ever safe, and nothing's ever promised. Everybody's fake, and no one's ever honest. They want me to be positive in the midst of this, when a positive response is just ridiculous. Men acting like bitches, getting the niggas in the twist. Why some of your business? So what do you think this is? If you're resisting this, then you're cursed and damaged. Or they're planning to turn man into an urban savage. I don't know one's ever safe, and nothing's ever promised. Everybody's fake, and no one's ever honest. They want me to be positive in the midst of this, when the positive response is just ridiculous. Men acting like bitches, getting the niggas in the twist. Why is it making business? So what do you think this is? If you're resisting this, then you're cursed and damaged. Or they're planning to turn man into an urban savage. Yo, I see snakes within these fake men. They all just piss a bit as I change the fake smiles into awkward grimaces. It's all just business, yet very personal. Now they're staring at me like I was sent there to just murder you. Bursting through the office doors with my gun cocked, demanding that the manager just give me like one shot. Forgot my manners and all my social graces. I must have left them in the place where my hopes and faith is. And no one changes according to their logic. And rehabilitation is just a game played by lost kids who have got tricks to deceive magicians, always wearing long sleeves so they can keep them all hidden from the secret vision and the systems of control. Monitoring bodies, wishing for a glimpse of the soul. I'm pissed off like a convict who just missed his parole, sleeping within a prison, wishing for his freedom to show. I don't know what's ever safe, and nothing's ever promised. Everybody's fake, and no one's ever honest. They want me to be positive in the midst of this, when the positive response is just ridiculous. Men acting like bitches, getting the niggas in the twist. Why is it making business? So what do you think this is? If you're resisting this, then you're cursed and damaged. Or the plan is to turn man into an urban savage. And no one's ever safe, and nothing's ever promised. Everybody's fake, and no one's ever honest. They want me to be positive in the midst of this, when the positive response is just ridiculous. Men acting like bitches, getting the niggas in the twist. Why is it making business? So what do you think this is? If you're resisting this, then you're cursed and damaged. Or they're planning to turn man into an urban savage.
acted on my fantasies, and that's where everything went wrong.
Did you ever tell yourself, I have to stop this, I must stop doing this?
Yes.
When it was going on?
After the second time, it seemed like the compulsion to do it was too strong. I didn't even try to stop after that. But before the second time, things had been building up gradually. Going to bookstores, going to the bars, the gay bars, bath clubs. When that wasn't enough, buying sleeping pills and using it in various guys in the bathtubs. It just escalated slowly but surely. And after the second time, which was not planned, it was out of control. Felt like it was out of control. I was drinking a lot during that time, and just I don't know, looking for something to some way to find some fulfillment, some pleasure. And I acted on my fantasies, and that's where everything went wrong.
Did you ever tell yourself, I have to stop this, I must stop doing this?
Yes.
When it was going on?
Yeah, after the second time, it seemed like the compulsion to do it was too strong. I didn't even try to stop it. But before the second time, things had been building up gradually. Going to bookstores, going to the bars, the gay bars, bath clubs. When that wasn't enough, buying sleeping pills and using it on various guys in the bath clubs. It just escalated.
I pull a trigger and damage her. You're going on a murder rock.
Temptation.
Messing with my mind. I pull a trigger and damage her. Mentality of a psychopath.
Now his mentality was psychopathic. As a kid, reality was really that sick. Like bodies in the active, mind in the sewer. Disease of evil, please find him the cure. It's true that pure, righteous and pure. The words that we do it just like manure. Look who are the sick ones, raging the hearts. All the devil's kids run play in the dark. I mean, it started way back when he was captured for Satan at the age of 10. For a living see with thoughts and tendencies. Talk to his friends and corporate currency. Cause everyone's an enemy through his eyes. What maneuvers like Judas the Christ betrayal. Got me making his brain ill. Paranoid tales and never made fails. It's lost test. Now he's back out for justice. Steven Seagal style coming with the rockets. What's all the drugs is disturbing his mind. Jump on his bus trip like a murderer. Trying to turn right, find the exit. When the sign is tempted, try to get your head split. By any means, leading to the end bit. Get spread like presidents being re-elected. Feeling disrespect to wherever he goes. Knows he's got a temper but never be letting it show. Somebody getting murdered, evidence arose. Sicker than a pervert with a fetish for toes. Undercover psycho, hoping it's possible. But you might not know where that corona Moscow. Chance after chance he be giving his people. Wishing them well but they be wishing them evil. Deceitful mind tricks, wanna be Jedis. Never see things right when them shining red eyes. Only scenes of violence, he's the bad guy. Damages the seed, a fat lip in the black eye. Anger inside, but ain't the passive kind. Too impulsive to dream and fantasize. Up a stoop, cause some of them be level too. Spill somebody's blood, but ain't got the balls to follow through. Throwing a punch or two, start acting hard. But scared of getting reminded and shanked in the yard. Maniac psycho, making all the lights go out. Go down, him every up and a rifle. Pull on the trigger, the man is gonna damage you. Figure who the driver and who be the passenger. Madness awaiting, getting out of line. Mad temptation, messing with his mind. On a murderer, like he chose to go. Feeling curse inside, with a broken soul. Only Christ can fix it, if you're gonna let him. But the mind so wicked, ain't just wanna forget him. But redemption kept me setting him happy. See, he don't have to be a man that is angry. Cause that be the psychopathic character.
Pull a trigger and damage her.
Yeah, he's paranormal, but not void of sense. Nor in the sense of a clairvoyance fan, but he might exhibit crimes quite horrific, supernatural, but still scientific, but isn't on the Richard Dawkins tip. War selfish genes to the course it wouldn't fit. Too small in size to explain his walk. His selfish mind came from the fall of Adam, causing all the bad sin, from warped thoughts to distorted orgasms. The blind lead the blind to think like madmen. Divided minds get split like active. The masked men causing mass hysteria. People had up a gunpoint by bacteria. Seeing the future crumble cause of past troubles. When he's finally seen the light in the darkest tunnel. His heart was humble, check the scars he's got. Someone takes a light slap, there was a heart as knocks. The bears many crosses, but trust in one. Between two thieves, he sees the love of the sun. One who died for all branded sinners, from passive aggressors to psychopathic killers. He asks for forgiveness, or rather pleads. Body of the son crucified, heart of the father bleeds. As man starts to see his hopeless condition, Holy Ghost convicts him, shows him his sin. Alone in prison, his chains are broken, kills the killer within him that made his home in his temple, turning his earthly vessel into an instrument of wickedness, cursed by the devil. A mental psychotic, absolute nutter, looking under the cover to see what I can discover. Coming a judge, then he just moves to the sentencing part, call him a dark executioner, inventing the rules as he goes along. Subjective truths, so it really won't be wrong for him to be killing a man, not thinking the plan through. Living in a land where dudes have no absolutes, but everyone has a view, although they can't prove it still. Well, his psychotic logic just has a view to a kill. Like a sniper, sitting on top of the roof, quick to be pulling the trigger, cause the dude really got to just shoot. Not prostitutes or them shifty addicts, but showing to those cocky dudes with a gift of the gag tricks.
I pull a trigger and damage her. I pull a trigger and damage her. They're going on a murder rock.
Temptation.
Messing with my mind. I pull a trigger and damage her. Mentality of a psycho.
Maniac psycho, making all the lights go out. No doubt him ever grabbing a rifle, pulling a trigger. The man is gonna damage you. Figure who the driver and who be the passenger. Madness awaiting, getting out of line. Mad temptation, messing with his mind. On a murder ride, like he chose to go. Feeling curse inside with a broken soul. Only Christ can fix it, and they're gonna let him. But the mind's so wicked, it just wanna forget him. But redemption can be setting the man free, so he don't have to be a man that is angry. Cause that be the psychopathic character. Like that, yo. The works of the flesh are evident as I manifest. Afraid of the light cause of my Canaanite practices. Body bags of death up on my shoulder. Life on planet flesh has gotten a lot colder. The love ceases as the blood on the streets is shedding some more. Never before did one see this on this scale. And what about Israel? Evidence that his story is not just this tale. Gigantic hailstones is breaking frail domes. All eyes are on the horse rider with the pale tone. Claims he owns the right to hold the title of the Messiah, like it foretold in the Bible. Many would claim Christ and they like the prototypes. The Stalins and Hitlers on a hit list of lowlifes. The Nero types who show traits of gross hate, but with an ego more fragile than a snowflake. As they rotate between options and decisions, like shall I have him executed or just locked in prison? But either way, he ain't got a pot to piss in. Locked within the system of communist editions, or within a grip of a false messiah, with a vision to bring his citizens close to the fire. All kinds of deceivers, all sorts of liars. The leaders that precede the white horse rider, the nameless one who claims the fame of the sun, with his falsified ways taking place from everyone, creates a kingdom and a fake peace plan. So the enemies of Israel will no longer seek land, which seems great to the nations and all, but peace is really preparation for war.
I know my heart is the cockpit, my body be the plane. Darker than the gothic, weirder than Dr. Strange. On top of my game, then I hit rock bottom, with a brain that's insane. As Johnny is rotten, lost the plot, then I got it back again. I'll be attacked again with the pad and pen. I said I lost the plot, then I got it back again. I'll be attacked again with the pad and pen.
From the depths of the seas, as a seven-headed beast, mention a revelation, getting the nations deceived, collecting praise just like parking tickets. Deceitful above all, as the heart is wicked. Evidence of the 666 condition, as the self is esteemed with the biggest position. The sinfulness of sin as the sickest depiction. As simpletons begin to have intricate visions and envision again. Qualities that are godlike, a result of the democracy we never got right. Wanted to try another mode of government, went to the opposite side, only one is governing it. Republican or liberal Democrat, undercover the one is wishing the other dead and back. Sinners within the heads of every thinker, like pictures of liquor to tempt a heavy drinker. Infectious medicines that be spreading further sickness, referred to as the tender mercies of the wicked. Now, can good deeds proceed from evil people, as they seem to take care of all the people that they need to, but rarely take care of their enemies, wishing vengeance is evidence of their true identities. It's tempting to see me as exempt from this. It shows how deceitful my evil infection is.
My heart is the cockpit, my body be the plane, darker than the gothic, waiting on Doctor Strange, on top of my game. Then I hit rock bottom with a brain that's insane, as Johnny is rotten. Lost the plot, and I got it back again. I'll be attacking again with the pad and pen. I said I lost the plot, then I got it back again. I'll be attacking again with the pad and pen. Yo, my heart is the cockpit, my body be the plane, darker than the gothic, waiting on Doctor Strange, on top of my game. Then I hit rock bottom with a brain that's insane, as Johnny is rotten. Lost the plot, and I got it back again. I'll be attacking them with the pad and pen. I said I lost the plot, then I got it back again. I'll be attacking them with the pad and pen.
life, but on a planet of death, where this fallen physical is still standing blessed. Every man's at a test, or rather a war. So I'm trying not to conform to the man I was before. So lock the doors and close the windows, or poverty will come like a thief, stealing even your bin clothes. All I make it before the Lord thy God, the one my racing thoughts are always hiding from. The thoughts of sin that become habits of crime, and kept within, there's a savage in the mind. Now according to time, being the greatest tester, I habitually had like a mad crazy temper. I couldn't take the pressure, but that's a lame excuse, and one mainly used by those afraid of the truth. And my truth is such an ugly sighting. The face of death, that's the other one inside him, the one that shines, yeah, searching for glory, capitalizing from crimes and murder stories. Not to rationalize this man's tragic life, but trying to understand the mind behind the planning of a crime. Now the average guy might never agree with any reflection of his mind that he wasn't expecting to see. And it weighs heavy, I mean the burden of guilt. While a dude's finesse game stays smoother than silk. Deceitful lust that sneakily speak to us, causing righteousness to thus seem unjust. But the evil stuff, upon closer glance, is the stuff we boast about, setting up an opposing stance. But the moment one starts to open his mind's eye, he might realize that he was never really a nice guy. But with my case, I didn't even try to be one, because I knew it wasn't true, and to me it just seemed dumb. The painstaking lengths that many will travel to have themselves convinced and you that they ain't really a bad dude. And is that true? With good deeds exceeding a mere pleasing a thank you, or any pleasantry type of virtue. Well, I define good deed as at least that didn't hurt you, but soon the word hurt changed to the word kill in ways that transcend the normal proverbial. Braggadocious claims from gangster rap tongues, but you're still no less of a murderer if it's something you just want to have done. So who would deliver me from this body of death? A correctional facility of fallen flesh, and life is a test with repetitive struggles, a game of pain with different levels of trouble. But blessed are the humble who thirst for life, set free by the sun from the curse of pride. Who will deliver me from this body of death? A correctional facility of fallen flesh. Life is a test with repetitive struggles, a game of pain with different levels of trouble. But blessed are the humble who thirst for life, set free by the sun from the curse of pride. Now the minds of men be conspiring and hiring hitmen, hell-bent on resentment, not even trying to forgive when offended against your home and residence. I guess that's when we forget about our own decadence. That ever since a young age, yeah, well, there was such rage. In a nutshell, that was how I became such a nutcase. Lost faith that then led to offensive acts, but given enough grace to then be getting it back. My faith, that is, and by that grace he gives, the world's lucky I never begun to be a real atheist. Cause if I honestly believed that God didn't exist, I wouldn't see the point in morals and even wanting to live a righteous life of any shape or form. Cause without Christ I'm about as righteous as Satan's horns, and having faith in all would be a pile of nonsense, as a faith projected that is stay connected to the right object. A godless life implies that the conscience died. Now what's locked inside is just a lot of pride, spiritual prize for the physical life fuse you never find in the dark, blind with the light fuse. But why did we choose to replicate righteousness, creating our own kind, and then we take Christ from this? Kind of like they did with the word Xmas, as they crossed out Christ because they be finding the word offensive, and prefer the event as families feasting, mistletoe kisses blown by strippers wearing G-strings. A Christmas Eve thing, opportunity knocks within. Christmas Day they play a Jesus film, truly mocking him like Monty Python, or the modern day equivalent, based on a Da Vinci model. Now a blonde-haired hipster kid, looking like he came from Switzerland or even Germany, using racial hygiene codes to try to get his features perfect according to Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses. But this depends depiction is the image that is given by most Christians, citizens and members of various social clubs. The anti-Semitic agendas just seems to go unnoticed. The world we're living in is obviously satanic and under demonic management, from the White House to the Vatican. Roman Catholics and sadly even Anglicans all sit back with the world and they just have a little laugh at them. So no wonder we're all panicking, down and depressed, cause without the right Christ your life is surrounded by death.
So who would deliver me from this body of death? A correctional facility of fallen flesh. Life is a test with repetitive struggles, a game of pain with different levels of trouble. Blessed are the humble with thirst for life, set free by the sun from the curse of pride.
As he lights a Dutch, stops to reflect on his life and such. Before he figures out the why, he must find out the what. That is, he must admit what kind of man he is, and then he can ask why he committed all those crimes that he did. His understanding is darkened, just like an eclipse, as no man likes to understand just exactly who he really is. Least of all the killer, I mean to consider his ways. Reflections were gone in 60 seconds with Nicolas Cage, feeling a little bit brave, reflects a little bit longer, but what he sees in the dark starts to filling his heart with horror. It's hard to swallow that who I really am kill. So he saw himself as some kind of Superman that has to kill. Time for the realness though, as the air grows thinner, looking at the mirror self-awareness, he's staring at a broken sinner, admitting he's a killer, like for the very first time. Disturbed at the findings of the kind of person inside, realizes that his mind is like the source now. Now you combine this with circumstances and it ain't hard to foretell. The man inside him is riding down a dangerous path, like Jekyll and Hyde, trying to survive with just a face mask. No corona, you're just a hopeless loner, trying to mask his dark side with what he thought was a light persona. But on his shoulder, yeah, he's got the heaviest load. Your temper's like a time bomb, ready to explode.
Glimmers of hope, you know we won't consider a hopeless sinner with a soul that's so bitter. Demons inside as his mind grows sicker, squeezing his life like a boa constrictor. The light goes, now it's time for the crime thriller. The right mixture, the trigger, psycho killer. The light goes, now it's time for the crime thriller. The right mixture, the trigger, psycho killer.
Filling that mind of his with nothing but crime and violence, and minimal guidance to be getting his life upon the righteous tip. As time went on, you know his mind was bent on evil, and no one to confide in finds himself detesting people. No one in particular, but in general terms. And it seems as though it's the hard way whenever a lesson gets learned. But sooner better than later, and later better than never. Started as a young rule breaker, a lot of hatred and a temper, blaming ancestors and genetic hand-me-downs, socioeconomic context and a bad background. But the biggest culprit of all is the South. I mean that flaw in the South that looks for the causes in anyone else. But now we've had enough, and he's man enough to admit it, cause that's the first step of any killer being spiritually acquitted. Starts thinking now, sitting down inside his prison cell, feeling so empty and out of pennies for his wishing well.
Glimmers of hope, you know we won't consider a hopeless sinner with a soul that's so bitter. Demons inside as his mind grows sicker, squeezing his life like a boa constrictor. The light goes, now it's time for the crime thriller. The right mixture, the trigger, psycho killer. The light goes, now it's time for the crime thriller. The right mixture, the trigger, psycho killer. Glimmers of hope, you know we won't consider a hopeless sinner with a soul that's so bitter. Demons inside as his mind grows sicker, squeezing his life like a boa constrictor. The light goes, now it's time for the crime thriller. The right mixture, the trigger, psycho killer. The light goes, now it's time for the crime thriller. The right mixture, the trigger, psycho spoken.
Yeah, these dark truths, you know he's gotta learn to accept those from a dark past, that he's gotta learn to just let go. You think so? Well yes indeed, and he knows so. And if a seed isn't watered, then of course the seed won't grow. So he proceeds to reflect on all of these deeds, how he used to feed the flesh and thus water these seeds of deep-seated anger that's locked in his heart with the normal hardships and plus bad circumstances. You mix these together and then you got some answers. These seeds pursue produce a rotten harvest, dark recipes that have been around for centuries and turning men deadly, far worse than any disease. And every human being that be infected, see, it doesn't mean we're all killers, but we all got the dependency. And when he perceives the reason for his madness, conviction hits the target, his heart prickles like a cactus, and he understands that his anger is what led to this. Well, his conscience slept just like a man on sedative. But the next question that he now has on his mind is, why did that man have all of that damn anger inside? And it wasn't just to do with the things he'd expected, like bad genetics, feeling depressed or rejected, but instead it would seem, ultimately the real object of his anger was God, it seems. And the reason being, well I think he knows then, he wanted to kill God's will so he could just do his own thing. Secret hopes for an atheistic persuasion, so he wouldn't have to feel guilty about his disobeying, as he betrayed him with a surname of Scariot. So now his burden so heavy that only God alone could carry it. But carry it he did, with no filters, feeling all the weight of their sin on the cross for lost killers.
Glimmers of hope, you know we won't consider a hopeless sinner with a soul that's so bitter. Demons inside as his mind grows sicker, squeezing his life like a boa constrictor. The light goes, now it's time for the crime killer. The right mixture, the trigger, the psycho killer. The light goes, now it's time for the crime killer. The right mixture, the trigger, the psycho killer. Glimmers of hope, you know we won't consider a hopeless sinner with a soul that's so bitter. Demons inside as his mind grows sicker, squeezing his life like a boa constrictor. The light goes, now it's time for the crime trigger. The right mixture, the trigger, the psycho killer. The light goes, now it's time for the crime trigger. The right mixture, the trigger, the psycho killer.
Yeah, anyone can be a victim at any given time, but I never saw victims, just victimless crime, justified in bad ways and dishonesty, from homicides to aggravated robberies. God please be breaking all these chains and stop this hatred that's eating away at my brain, behaving like a cannibalistic zombie, acts of wickedness within my flesh metaphorically, didn't seem to worry me at the time though, blind to the a warning sign wherever I go. In hindsight, I might just have really bad eyesight. I know it might look like yes whenever I see it in my life. The fly-by-night type, that's the fastest pace. My eyes are always wide from that Class A base. Driven alone, trying to find a parking space. But I'll be sitting on road just like Mazda 8. Click to the dome, targets and breaks. Putting this overflows out of my heart to escapes. Chaotic soliloquies, like is this to be or not to be? Psychotic until God delivers me. Gotta watch my sympathy, no in this case. So easily these emotions are prone to be misplaced. Display showmanship, maybe notice it. You strike your victims pose like I don't pay so it's the fear of death and the love of cash. Two things in life we all understand. Thus my life stinks and sucks really bad. Or can I smell the muck stuck under my mustache? Under my nose or the hustler scheme. False prophets don't want $1 in a dream. But if you wanna be redeemed and forgiven, then you can't be seen as a victim. They want admit to being a victim, but there it is. And one of the senses of a subconscious awareness. Nevertheless, it's always self at the center. And our best efforts are connected to 1,000 agendas. Now led by a pack of mixed monsters. Many of these be deadly like plastic explosives. Dangerous and fake, sick combinations. Disgraceful fate, 666 denominations. Placing their faith in the beast riding babe. Green light in these mean times, keep seeking a life of fame. A life likely to contain visions of the insane. Driven by excessive rights and victim campaigns. Sinister dice, the highlights on the stage. Finding ways to precise the phrase. I like the pain, blinded by rays of evil. Like an evil drop of fame. As these crazy people take another life up in vain. Blame shifters, nanny state babysitters. If they play the victim, when inside they're shading his head. The fear of death and the love of cash. Two things in life we all understand. Thus my life thinks sucks really bad. Oh, can I smell a rock stuck on my mustache? Under my nose or the hustler scheme. The false prophets want $1 in a dream. But if you wanna be redeemed and forgiven, then yourself can't be seen as the victim. Yeah, the fear of death and the love of cash. Two things in life we all understand. Thus my life stinks, sucks really bad. Oh, can I smell a rock stuck on my mustache? Under my nose or the hustler scheme. The false prophets want $1 in a dream. But if you wanna be redeemed and forgiven, then yourself can't be seen as the victim. Yo, check this, rising victim percentages. My hate's detected, hiding in the collective with fake connect, stay vexed, screaming temper switch. Community bonds then break like paper necklaces. Not impressed with it, reject through fuddle. And then they be manifesting into deceptive role models. A gobble, they be met as an enemy. To them who pretend to be victims of offenders' identity. But if there's witness to New Testament writings, when Christ mentioned a rising interest in violence, coinciding with the times of Noah's day, when minds were so depraved and their throats were like open graves. Yeah, I know I'm praying or attempting to grow in faith, except when something like Corona came. Yeah, falling short with the vision of a smallest war. Actions of a victim of the crawling sword. God sees all the thoughts of a source of citizens. So it's your decision if you want to be called a victim. I know the fear of death and the love of cash. Two things in life we all understand. Thus my life stinks, sucks really bad. Oh, can I smell the rock stuck on my mustache? Under my nose or the hustler scheme. The false prophets want $1 in a dream. But if you want to be redeemed and forgiven, then yourself can't be seen as the victim. The fear of death and the love of cash. Two things in life we all understand. Thus my life stinks, sucks really bad. Oh, can I smell the rock stuck on my mustache? Under my nose or the hustler scheme. The false prophets want $1 in a dream. But if you want to be redeemed and forgiven, then yourself can't be seen as the victim. I said you want to be redeemed and forgiven, then yourself can't be seen as the victim. Now you want to be redeemed and forgiven, then yourself can't be seen as the victim.
just get angry with other people who think that they have a right to somehow try to blame my parents for what happened. My parents are not right at all. No one has the right to do that. No one is totally innocent. They have no knowledge of it. That angers me. There comes a point where a person has to be accountable for what he's done. He can't go around making excuses, blaming other people or other things. So I alone what's happened. The only motive that there ever was completely control the person that I found physically attractive and keep them with me as long as possible. Even if it meant I just get angry with just other people who think that they have a right to somehow try to blame my parents for what happened. That's not right at all. No one has the right to do that. No one is totally innocent. They have no knowledge. That angers me. There comes a point where a person has to be accountable for what he's done. Before making excuses for blaming other people, blaming other things. So I alone what's happened. The only motive that there ever was completely control a person that I found physically attractive and keep them with me as long as possible, even if it meant apart.